per the kids' request, we're doing pizza. So this is the pizza from the new book. And I'm going to take you guys through the steps of making it. It's so easy to make. I'm actually doubling it because I feel like if I'm going to put the work in, I'm going to double it up so that we have a little bit of pizza crust left over, because you can freeze this. It freezes really, really well. So first we're starting by activating our yeast. And again, this is a double batch of it. So there's a lot in here. So once your yeast doubles in size, it's ready to be used. That means it's activated. So right now I've got my flour in here. There's about 5 cups of flour in here because I'm doubling up the recipe. I'm going to add my xanthan gum, my salt, some basil, and then we're going to mix it all up. I'm going to add the wet ingredients in. So I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to do this. Okay, we've got all the dry ingredients in here. So I have some seasonings. I've got my guar gum. You can use guar gum or xanthan gum. I've got all of my flour in here, and I'm just letting it mix up really good. Our next step is we are going to add the activated yeast, which I'm going to do right now. As you can see, it's almost ready to overflow. So we want to get this baby in here. I'm just going to do a slow pour. Oop, and I'm making a mess. One-handed. It's not easy. All right. Let's get all that in there. I'm going to use a spoon and I'm going to scrape out the rest of that froth. You want to get all that in there. You want this to rise up nicely. Okay, now I'm adding the rest of the warm water that this calls for. And I'm going to add some oil in here, and that just kind of helps with the texture of the dough. And then we'll just let it mix up really nicely to get really blended well. It's a little blurry right here. And then we will not roll it out. We're going to shape our pizza crust. So now I'm just going to kind of scrape down the sides and make sure that we got all of those dry ingredients mixed in. And let me just tell you that this dough smells phenomenal. I mean, there's just something about like a yeast dough house right now, and it smells great. That just feels so comforting. And I have a lot of seasonings added into this to just give it extra flavor, because I feel like gluten-free pizza dough really needs that extra flavor. So the whole smell is filling the house. Okay, so I have a really large baking sheet lined with parchment paper. I'm going to do a couple of personal-sized pizzas for the kids, because I have a dairy-free kid and I have a kid that can have dairy, and they both like different toppings. So it's just easier for everyone to kind of have their own pizza. So I'm just going to kind of stagger these out on my baking sheet, and then I'm going to shape these. You're probably looking at this like, oh my gosh, how is this dough going to turn into pizza? But I am going to show you the trick to making gluten-free pizza actually look like pizza. Okay, the key to success here is water. So we are going to take wet hands to shape this dough. And basically what I'm going to do with my wet hands is I'm just going to kind of flatten it out. And you really, if it's not wet, it will stick, as you can see. So get those hands really nice and wet. Flatten it out. If you want, you can make it thinner in the middle and bigger on the sides, so you have like a crust effect. Because she won't eat as much pizza as James. He could probably eat an entire large pizza to himself. So that's how you shape it. Nice wet hands. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do the... And this dough gets pretty nice and thick. So now I'm just going to kind of shape the sides of this, because this is going to be a perfect size for one of the kids, probably Claire. All right, my oven's finally preheated. I waited a little bit too long to turn it on because I didn't know how long it was going to take me to put all the dough together. But here's what we've got on my big sheet. The kids will eat 2 of these, and then these other 2 little ones I will probably save, and I'll either freeze them or just use them for an easy lunch or quick dinner for the kids next week if we want to eat something spicy maybe that they don't want. And then I have a big crust right here. This will be for James and I, because I'll make us a pizza that has all kinds of yummy stuff on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and par bake these. Then I'll take them out, top them, except for the ones that I'm not going to use. At that point, you'd let them come to room temp, and then you would go ahead and wrap them and freeze them for later on. The first set of pizzas are out, so I'm just taking a marinara sauce that I get from the store. It's just like an organic marinara. I'm going to spread sauce all over, and then I'm going to top these however the kids want them. I'll go ask them. Usually it's cheese and pepperoni that they ask for. But what's fun about this is if you want to like turn this into a thing, since we're all looking for some fun activities. Yeah, that's my family in the backyard. FYI, I'm looking for wireless headphone recommendations, if anyone can share one with me. Anyways, it's fun to just kind of give your kids their own crust. You can let them top them. You can do like a little pizza topping bar situation. It's a lot of fun. All right, dinner is done. Here's the kids. So Claire has Daya. He has regular cheese and pepperoni. And then I just kind of loaded us up with what we had in the fridge. So we have a little bit of Adele sausage. We've got some salami, some pepperoni, and some bell peppers. I prefer mine without cheese. I'm not into vegan cheese. It's just, I'd rather not have it. So here's dinner. I have a couple of shells left over. I'll probably stick these in the freezer just for some lunches because the kids are getting so tired of sandwiches and we're running low on bread. So we'll just store these for later this week.